Welcome to the Terrible Podcast with your hosts from SteelersDepot.com, where you can find all your latest and greatest Steelers news. It's Dave Bryan and Alex Kozora, always lit, talking Steelers. And now, here's Dave and Alex.
Welcome to the Terrible Podcast, another special edition of the Terrible Podcast. I am Dave Bryan, and with me tonight, as usual, is Alex Kozora, Pittsburgh Steelers Training Camp 2022. It is Saturday evening. It was the fourth training camp practice of the year so far, and Alex is back from Latrobe, a busy packed Latrobe today. And Alex, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, Dave. Really good day out there today. I also liked it because the next time, as Mike Tomlin said, we'll see the Steelers will be Monday when the pads come on, and it really feels like training camp in football. Typically, we don't have to wait this long for the pads to come on, but because the NFL's ramp-up acclimation phase, kind of phase one of training camp, an extension of the spring work and OTAs, a little less to talk about so far, but really good crowd. First weekend practice, and it was, I think they said 17,000 tickets. I don't know if 17,000 were actually there, but it was pretty darn close. All
right. And before we get started, why don't you tell people about Lynn Testa and our fine friends at Touring Plans?
Sure. Again, a camp sponsor for many, many years now has been Lynn Testa and Touring Plans. So if you're planning a trip specifically to Disney, which I'm sure some families will do as a last summer vacation, or maybe they're planning for something in the winter when they want to get out of Pennsylvania and go somewhere warm like Orlando, those are the guys you want to talk to. So go to touringplans.com, tell them Steelers Depot and Lynn Testa sent you, and they'll get you all the help you need.
Absolutely. All right. Where would you like to start? You want to start on defense today, or do you want to go through the normal route and go start on offense?
Yeah, let's go through the housekeeping here first. The injury report of it all. Chase Claypool was on the field today. I think he went down there late, but did not practice with the shoulder injury suffered yesterday, although that seems minor. There was no brace, no sling, nothing on that shoulder, so maybe just bruised it. I think he's fine. Overall, no Pat Freiermuth with a hamstring. No surprise there. Pittsburgh's typically cautious, as they should be when it comes to soft tissue and hamstring injuries like that. Maybe he's out there for Monday. Wouldn't be surprised if they hold him out a little bit longer. No Miles Killebrew with the pec injury. Cornerback Levi Wallace returned after an illness that kept him out of yesterday's practice, so that was good. In terms of in-practice injuries, two of them that I'm aware of. Marcus Allen with a right hamstring pulled up about a little more than midway through practice. Unfortunate, just chasing somebody downfield and then pulled up. And then Connor Hayward got tripped up by, I believe, TD Moultrie in 7-on-7, had his right ankle all wrapped up, missed the final team session. It seems minor. He's trying to walk it off, but we'll see what Monday brings for him.
And about Larry Ogunjobi, he's still not in team, but Steelers.com on Twitter had a nice clip of him, doing some drills and all like that. And yeah, he looks like he's close. And man, it's very encouraging just to look at that one short little Twitter video alone.
I hadn't even seen that, but yeah, he's been in individual drills, positional work, working first team. So I'm not sure at what point they will graduate him into team. Will it be Monday, the first day in pads? Maybe. We'll see. But I think they just want to be really careful, really cautious with him. And he'll be out there probably sooner than later.
All right, offensive line, Dotson, Green, what's the story?
They really flip back and forth. Let me double check here because I don't want to mix anything up. Kendrick Green ran as the initial first team left guard today and probably got the majority of reps there, but I know Kevin Dotson worked with the ones as well. And so again, it's just a pure rotation there. I saw Green on the ground once today. I don't know what happened. It could have been somebody tripped him up, so I don't want to give an explanation as to why, but certainly things we'll watch for. Again, I hate using this line so much, but it's really hard to evaluate the quality of anyone's play along the offensive line or trenches in general when they're not in pads. I would say we're seeing some more guys move around a little bit quicker than we have in the past. Today I watched Jake Dixon, who got work at left tackle, but also at right guard. Chris Owens getting work at center, which is where he played most of the time at Alabama later in his career. There was center snaps today seemed off. I think he was kind of rusty trying to snap the football. Kenny Pickett probably didn't love that overall, but from an evaluation standpoint of the play, I think Dixon's a pretty rough and tough customer, pretty aggressive guy. And so I think when the pads come on, he might be in some of those scrums. So I like his attitude and demeanor overall for Duquesne Duke.
Jordan Tucker, the undrafted free agent out of North Carolina, has he pretty much just been predominantly right tackle?
He's done both. I don't know which side he's done more of, to be honest. I'd have to maybe check some of my notes there. It's been split fairly evenly. He began as a right tackle. I've seen him get work at left tackle. Again, his career arc is he was a right tackle, I think, his last 3 seasons at North Carolina. Played left tackle, I want to say, his freshman season, very early in his North Carolina career. So trying to get that tackle versatility with him. Saw Chaz Green at left tackle today as well. So they're trying to move those guys around a little bit earlier than what's typical for Pittsburgh.
All right. Tight end, Freiermuth on the side with the hammy, gave Connor Hayward an opportunity to do some things, and he did some things.
He did. Unfortunately, it ended with that injury that kind of a little damper on a good day overall, but I was tweeted about during the day, hey, we're catching the ball well. I saw Mike Tomlin kind of briefly sing his praises afterwards. Again, he's been a true tight end. I don't know how it's going to work in terms of him getting consistent snaps because he's always off ball. He's never, in line tight end. He's always kind of either split out or a Y off kind of guy, 2-point stance, but catching the ball really well, getting upfield, doing little things well there. So a nice day for Connor Hayward. Jay Sternberg has been pretty quiet. Everyone drops passes. I don't want to hyper focus on it, but I've seen a couple of drops from Sternberger, whether that's even in warmups or 7-on-7s. He had one today. The hands overall with Jay Sternberger have been a little suspect.
Right. And that's the kid really was just a 1-year kind of player after he had switched schools and all like that, had the 1 year of production and all it was really essentially overdrafted. I think who was it? The Packers with him, and obviously was around last season on the practice squad there. And I think Mike Tomlin even kind of mentioned him by name yesterday, just to the point of, hey, with Freiermuth down, now's an opportunity to take advantage of those extra snaps.
Definitely. And the reps are there. I mean, there's really only like 3.5 tight ends on the roster in terms of available right now, in Gentry and Kevin Rader and Sternberger, and then Hayward, who is a tight end, but again, not going to be used in the same way that a Sternberger or the others may be. So you're getting opportunity. They're getting snaps. Are you making the most of them? I don't want to, again, be so hyper-focused on a couple of drop passes, but I've just noticed that in my thoughts and observing Jay Sternberger, casually speaking.
Anything noteworthy on overall on the running back position?
Again, it's tough. I've seen a lot of Pony the last couple of days. McFarland always involved in that, split out usually with Snell or McNichols or somebody in the backfield. Beyond that, I think Durant's caught the ball okay. Had a tough catch on a check down from Pickett today that took him to the ground, but he made the catch. I haven't seen really a whole lot. It's been just check downs. There's not really been any sort of really, marquee difficult catches overall. But Monday will be, I assume, backs on backers and live contact and all that kind of stuff, and we'll have a lot more to talk about then.
Okay, wide receivers. That Pickens kid continues to shine, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. I've seen some of the clips that have been posted, whether that's even on-air type stuff or obviously during session overall. Really seems to be gaining some chemistry and trust with Mitch Trubisky, especially middle of the field type stuff. I would say maybe Pickens just tries to leave his feet a little too often on some of the crosses where he wants to leap, and that might hurt some of that yak ability, but that's a minor critique. Overall, he even saw, and this is a small thing to me, but in 7-on-7, someone else caught a pass, he turned upfield and blocked Cam Sutton. It wasn't this devastating block, but it was just turning, being aware, putting your hands on a guy driving your feet. And, that's not the reason why George Pickens got drafted. It won't be the primary impact he has on this team, but man, Dave, we'd love to see some receivers blocking after the catch this year.
Absolutely. There was that one clip too that they showed during drills where they had the pads and trying to knock, hit them in the end zone as they go up for a pass there. And I think one of them bounced off of Pickens' hands, but it was one of those good and bad type plays. The bad obviously is he didn't haul in the initial catch, but the good was, boy, he certainly did contort himself and showed that the ability to still corral the football right before it hit the ground there. So I know that clip's floating around there, and he just goes to show how he's a big guy that kind of plays with little man ability, if you will. So that was a prime example of that. And I think I saw another shot of one of the plays, one of those, I think, kind of a dig down the middle of the field. And boy, that's a sight for sore eyes, right? Mm-hmm. Did you have to check and make sure you're in the right place to see some of the throws going down the middle of the field past 10 yards?
Yeah, I had to check the zip code on that one. No, that was good for sure. And that's where he's made a lot of plays. It hasn't just been the vertical go balls. It's been a lot of the digs in middle of the field, more intermediate, that 15 to 20 yard range. And that was one of the plays I was talking about today that I think came from Mitch Trubisky. So that was good to see. Yeah, the body control overall, the awareness, just being able to track the football. Connor Hayward had that today too. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit later. But on that, the first touchdown Pittsburgh had in 7 shots after the defense was pitching a shutout. Donovan Steiner dives for an interception on kind of a lame duck. Maybe someone's arm got hit, but ball pops up and Connor Hayward finds the football, catches it, just kind of a crazy backyard play. But you like guys that are able to, because that's all instinct. It's not about, That's not something you teach and you rep and you practice. That just ball in the air. Can you find it? Can you make the play? So that from Pickens, you saw that from Connor Hayward.
As bad as, obviously the negative there was with the play in and of itself, he just showed that to keep his head on the swivel and make the play there. So those kind of things will get talked about, I'm sure, in the meeting rooms, after practice and on into the day off and all for sure. So all right, Miles Boykin, he bounced back a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was in a different way, but a couple of intermediate slant type stuff, balls a little outside his frame, a little over his head, but making those catches, getting upfield, a good yak opportunities for him today. So yesterday struggled with the deep ball and can you finish the play vertically? He wasn't given that opportunity today, but it was good to see him get a couple catches, just quarterbacks hitting him in stride and just good releases and stuff like that. So after a down day yesterday, a nice bounce back performance from Miles Boykin.
And I think Tyler Snead made a nice catch in the corner of the end zone there in 7 shots. I think from who was it? That was Kenny Pickett, right?
Right. That was Tyler Vaughn's who made the catch.
Tyler Vaughn. I'm sorry.
Right. He made a couple of them. He made that one in 7 shots, and then 7-on-7 had a great kind of twisting grab against James Pierre along the sideline. So that's a guy that was a really poor athlete testing wise coming out of USC. I mean, he ran in the 4.6s. His vertical was 31, but this guy's got some hops and body control, good hands overall. So obviously trying to fit him into a 53 somewhere next to impossible, but practice squad, stick around the team, wait for your opportunity. Who knows what can happen? There's some traits there with Tyler Vaughn's.
And people were saying, well, I think there was some question whether or not he got in, but I think there's a shot floating around. I think from Matt Freed at the PPG, and he landed in with that elbow.
Okay,
so,
did he? Was it the elbow? Because it did look his feet were down, but then I lost him in the crowd there. So if the elbow was in, then the elbow was in.
Yeah. It was a good, at least from the still shot, it looks like it was good there. So let's see here. Anybody else? What did the lines look like with Claypool and Deontay Johnson out?
Again, there's some rotation there. Let me see. The first play of 7 shots, it was 12 personnel. It was Pickens and Anthony Miller. Let's see if I have any other notes here. I know that when they did warm-up, so very early on initially, it was Cody White, Anthony Miller on the outside with George Pickens in the slot. Calvin Austin getting increased slot work as well. And so it's hard to really say it's these 2 or these 3 guys because of the mixing and matching, but essentially White, Miller, Pickens, you could kind of call your starting 3 today.
All right. Anything else to add about the wide receiver group?
I did see Pickens in the slot a little bit as well, as I just mentioned. So, again, I think he's primarily been outside, but whenever you don't have Claypool, he's working in the slot quite a bit. And with Pickens kind of developing nicely, you see what else that guy can do.
Anything on Austin today you want to pass along?
No, I don't think overall. I really want to see how that guy looks when the pads come on. It's kind of the big thing with him.
All right. Quarterbacks. Talk about them.
Yeah, everyone got their wish. Kenny Pickett got a 7 shots rep, so everyone can kind of calm down about that. It was a good throw. It was to the back kind of left corner, but it was more on a line than it was a fade. And Bonds made a really good catch as well, but it was kind of like perfectly placed. So Pickett 1 for 1 on 7 shots. I wasn't freaking out about it the way that a lot of people seem to be, which is still a little confusing to me. I thought there was some progress with Pickett today. There were some lulls. It was one team session. He went over 4. A crossbody throw that he shouldn't have made that went incomplete. Could have been a lot worse than that. But he didn't always get the help that he could have had. There was one really good throw to end one of the team sessions where it was kind of a curl route, I don't know, 10-yard curl route to Gunnar Olszewski. Really well thrown outside half of him away from the defender who had inside leverage, and Olszewski just dropped the football. It was kind of a tougher catch, but a really well placed ball and what he should make. And so sometimes his incompletions and stuff's not the quarterback's fault. And I thought Pickett had maybe one of his best throws I've seen in terms of putting that one on the money in terms of accuracy placement, and just didn't come away with a completion.
All right, what about the other two?
Rudolph really spun the ball well. I thought overall he had probably the throw of the day in terms of a throw over the middle to Miles Boykin that I thought for sure James Pierre would break up. Pierre dove, didn't grab it, and Boykin had a lot of run after catch opportunity there. And so you're seeing some of that. I think Rudolph's been really good in terms of that intermediate game. Trubisky might be throwing it downfield a little bit more. I mean, they've both been able to do that. Pickett's been kind of really the short to maybe intermediate type of guy. But I thought good days for both. The 7 shots, though, defense continues to do very well in. I thought Pickett had his let me rephrase. Pickett's had his best day of the last two. The last 2 days have been kind of poor. Today was better. I wouldn't say it was great or good, but better. Rudolph and Trubisky, I thought overall, practiced well overall.
If you had to rank them today, how would they rank?
That's a good question. I mean, maybe Rudolph, Trubisky, Pickett.
You don't want to say Pickett last, do you?
No, I'm fine saying that. I'm just trying to think back to exactly how I would rank that and how I would quantify that. I'd probably say, just loosely speaking, Rudolph, Trubisky, Pickett.
Okay. Anything else? A lot of how much under center versus shotgun would you say?
It's been a good split. Some of that's dependent on the situation. So during their kind of more run focused sessions, you're going to get the majority of the time working under center, and some of those are handoffs and some of those are play action. So it's less about what Canada wants to do as it is about the situational football and working on certain things during certain sessions during their third down. Situational football drill today, they're obviously always in shotgun, or probably for 11 of the 12 snaps, if not all 12. And so it's a little dependent on kind of what they're working on in that moment, as opposed to just what does the Canada offense look like.
All right. Anything else stick out offensively?
No, I think that's it. Overall, I think the defense has been the better group most days, and they were the better group again today.
All right. Defensive side of football, obviously kind of tough still with defensive line. Just anything real notable to talk about there?
Yeah, I think the Davis twin brothers are showing some bursts, some good first step. Carlos Moore yesterday, Khalil Moore today. So, those guys, I want to see them in some of the one-on-one opportunities. Can they, win quickly with that burst, that explosion with their hand use and stuff like that? I saw Henry Mondeau at nose tackle today. I didn't love seeing that for one snap and base defense. It was Leal at left defensive end and Laudamok at right defensive end. So, wonder how much we'll see that. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of the backup base defense. The starters have been Wormley, Adams, Hayward. I don't really see usually the backup 3-4 Oki look in there, but I saw that today, and it happened to be Leal, Mondeau, and Laudamok.
All right, outside linebackers. That number 90. Hard to get work done with him on the field, isn't it?
Yeah, Trubisky's like, Watt, can you take a day off for me? I'm trying to win a job here. You got your money, because he was a menace today. He had a batted ball, and then later on, Trubisky tries throwing a screen to Pickens' right side, and Watt right there and just right into his belly and chest and picks it off and runs into the end zone. So, Watt knows I can't sack the quarterback here, but I'm still going to impact the passing game, and I'm going to bat down passes. And after he batted the pass down, he kicks the ball into the bleachers, and it went 10 rows up, and just really a dominant day for TJ Watt. And he's been excellent all camp, which is no one's surprised by that, but still good to reinforce and say.
It must be awkward with him sitting in the quarterback meeting rooms, right?
That's really what it feels like for sure. I mean, the thing with the screen pass, though, is you can't cut TJ Watt. No one's going at his ankles. You're going to get cut if you try to cut TJ Watt.
Right.
So that's a guy that probably gets a little more leeway here, but also him knowing I can't touch the quarterback. I probably have a better inside feel of what play call they're calling there. And so I'm going to just do my thing and play volleyball player today.
All right. What about some of the other outside linebackers? You have any more comfort level with the guys behind Watt and Highsmith?
I think they're still sorting that stuff out. That's probably better. It's got to be so tough for the edge guys when, you can't touch right now you can't tackle. You can never touch the quarterback. And so that in-stadium work, especially special teams, you're trying to win a job there. That's hard to show this time of year in terms of training camp. So they're still figuring that stuff out. I haven't seen anything really too high or too low from Tusker or Avery. Delonte Scott had a good run defense today, getting off a block and stopping. I think it was Anthony McFarland. So there's a note there on Delonte Scott. But again, in this setting, it's really tough to judge those guys for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, you'll really start being able to give us some good info, I think, once the pads come on Monday.
Yeah, because that'll be backs on backers, O-line, D-line, which has the edge guys, and the intensity goes up. So we'll learn a bit more.
That Miles Jack, pretty good in coverage.
Yeah, had a good third down stop on Zach Gentry. I think just the defense overall has been so focused on taking the football away, especially in settings where you can't tackle. And obviously you want to wrap and be fundamentally sound, and they are, but they're just knocking the ball out. They're really running hard on the football at the ends. With so many plays, even today, there was at least 2 plays where end of the play, maybe things are you're getting ready to go back to the huddle, but it's not quite done yet. And then, Carl Joseph knocked the ball out of Pickens' hands. End of one play. Jack strips Zach Gentry today. They stripped Najee Harris the other day at the end of a run there. So you always hear the coaches, probably Tomlin in particular, say ball search. They're always looking to take that football away. And so these guys rally, they hustle, they play with good effort and energy, and they were really pumped up today. There was one play where Trubisky had to pull the ball down and run. Defense was just losing its mind, just so excited. You got Edmonds, Witherspoon, and Sutton, those guys just really hooting and hollering because they know that anytime you make the quarterback run in a setting like this, that means you did your job in terms of your coverage.
Levi Wallace back. Tell me what the rotation looked like.
Yeah, a lot of Levi Wallace today, probably because they wanted to get him some extra reps with him missing yesterday and Witherspoon getting most of those reps yesterday. I did see at least one, but probably more than that rep of like the top 3 corners on the field at the same time. It was Wallace and Witherspoon outside and Sutton in the slot, which is kind of my vibe of the way this thing's going to go. Millette played well, though, had a breakup in 7 shots and had a tackle in one of the run plays to Najee Harris. So I thought Millette had a good day overall, but I mean, it certainly would make the most amount of sense that in terms of your top 3, when they are your top 3 at once on the field, it's Wallace, Witherspoon, and Sutton inside.
I thought I saw you tweet out something on Lane.
Yeah, Lane had the breakup on George Pickens down the right sideline, and that was a throw from, I want to make sure I get the name because everyone asked me who the quarterbacks are here, which I understand. From Mason Rudolph on a deep ball, go ball right sideline, and Lane really good technique to pin Pickens along the sideline and just play down through the hands and knock that ball out at the end because Pickens certainly is someone who can come down with those plays. And so Lane, showing up in a lot of ways. James Pierre had some breakups today, gave up a couple of catches, but they were well contested, I thought. So again, just that 2 dogs, 1 bone, trying to bring out the best in each other.
All right, and the safety position, Steiner can't let those interceptions go out of his hands, right? Especially the easy ones, right?
Especially when they result in touchdowns. Like, right. He tried to make the play. Like, this is my chance. It was Rudolph. Like, his arm might have gotten hit. I think the pocket was collapsing, constricted. The ball was a very latent duck, and Steiner's running in, and it's like, I'm going to make the play, get to celebrate. Then it didn't hit the ground. It just kind of popped out as he was, I think, trying to secure it underneath them, and it goes straight up in the air, and Hayward catches it. Connor Hayward does, and gets in the end zone. So I'm like, Steiner, you're my guy. I've been talking you up all off season, and you have that moment there.
But here's the thing: if he makes that interception, and it was a hit, it was a hit arm, in other words, it was kind of a give me kind of play, right? If he makes it, we're probably not talking about it too much. But if being he didn't, then we're talking about it, right?
Right, for sure. If it was just like, there'd been a footnote, Steiner picks off the pass on a kind of a weird throw. But still, you made it 10 times worse because you didn't pick it off the play you should have made, and then Hayward catches it, and now we're talking about that. It's that Streisand effect almost.
Right. All right. Anything else in the secondary?
That's about it. I think Mark Robinson had a good run fill to kind of close things out. He would have probably, decleated Mateo Durant on one fill. I cannot wait to see Mark Robinson during this run session. I mean, it may not look great. I don't know, but he'll fly around and he'll probably try to make some plays today. And so, really looking forward to that.
Shades of Vince Williams early, right?
Who was there today, which is funny enough. Yes, all the Steelers alumni seem to be there. Max Starks and Taylor and Heath Miller inducted in the Hall of Honor. So very, very cool there. And then Vince Williams was on hand today, hanging around the inside linebacker. So I'm sure he gave Mark Robinson some advice.
Okay. Talk about the 7 shots.
Yeah, defense won 5-2. I can pull up all my notes here. The defense, again, has kind of been dominating. So for our first play, Trubisky on a fade to Pickens. Sutton, good play to break that up. Second one, Watt got some pressure. Trubisky rolled right through, almost kind of threw the ball away. Third one, that was Millette knocking the ball away on a boot left for Anthony Miller. Fourth one was completed to Connor Hayward, but Terrell Edmonds, I think, stopped him at kind of the half-yard line. So the rare completion, but stopped, quote-unquote, in 7 shots. Rudolph came in. That was the crazy Steiner near interception, Hayward touchdown. Next one was McFarland. I think a throw to him right side, kind of on a scramble drill, really well covered, incomplete. And then the last play was Kenny Pickett getting his first rep of 7 shots and then throwing that good ball and a good catch by Tyler Vaughn. So 5-2 defense wins with Pickett, kind of the talk, I guess, of 7 shots.
All right. How about some highlights from or low lights from team session?
Yeah, some of the Pickens plays certainly notable. Some of the breakups, the throw that Rudolph had over the middle to Miles Boykin that was just really zipped in there perfectly. You couldn't hand the ball to him any better than what Rudolph did on that play. Those are probably the highlights. So trying to think about all the other ones coming to mind right now, but those are some of the quick ones.
All right. What else you got for us? How about I saw some hang times.
Yeah, I don't want to put too much stock into it because I just was jonesing for some punting times. I mean, they weren't running, full with a full punt rush and return. Not that you would never try to block the punt, run into Harbin, but it was kind of just pieced together. But some good hang times there: 4.9, 4.83, 4.72. Zelic had a shank, so that wasn't great to do on air. But it's early and
he hit the mascot. He didn't hit Steely McBeam with that one, did he?
No, he almost hit somebody in the bleachers. It bounced up and somebody caught it. So that's not good when the fans are catching your punts.
No, not at all. Okay, anything else for us?
I think it's about it. Off day on Sunday, and then Monday the real fun begins. I'm kind of tired of talking about plays and shorts. I'm excited for the Pats to come on, and we'll see if anyone comes back healthy. But full contact on Monday. Pittsburgh's a rare team that's going to be physical, and they'll get after it.
All right, practices start at the same time?
Yes, all 155.
All right, good deal. All right, when Alex gets back, obviously before then, we'll have a Monday version of the Terrible Podcast where we'll talk about Hall of Honor stuff that happened on Saturday. Congratulations to Heath Miller, well deserved, and we'll fill everybody in on the rest and probably go over some quotes and everything like that on the Monday podcast. And Alex will be out at Saint Vincent College for the practice, and then we'll get together Monday night. Will be the next special edition of the Terrible Podcast training camp session there. So follow me on Twitter at Steelers Depot. Follow Alex on Twitter at Alex_Kozora. Follow the show at Terrible Podcast. Email the show, theterriblepodcast@gmail.com. If you want to donate or get an ad-free version of the site, go to SteelersDepot.com and you'll see the buttons up there in the right top right navigational bar. So have a great Saturday night, and we will be talking to you on Monday. As always, thanks for listening to the Terrible Podcast, a special edition of the Terrible Podcast with Dave and Alex.